What's up, guys? Welcome back to Vow 2021. Jake Wolf is with us today. My name's Nate Dixon. I'm pastor at Grace Chapel, filling in for Pastor Shane today. But Jake's with us. He's the co-leader of a life group with Honor Hernandez. And Jake and I both are going to be looking at Proverbs 16:24. And I'm going to start us off, and Jake's going to bring it home. And so anyway, the passage this week says, pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. I love this passage. And as I was thinking about it, one of the first things that came to mind was a conversation that I found myself in the other day with Pastor Dave Buehring. And a lot of you guys know him and have spent time with him. And we've had him at Young Adults to speak to us. And he said this. He said, he said, it's good that we honor one another. The scripture says, outdo one another and showing each other honor. And he said, there are three ways that we can honor one another. He said, we can honor one another based off of performance. We can honor one another based off of character. And thirdly, we can honor one another based off of their inerrant value according to their being created in the imago Dei, the image of God. And immediately I thought, wow, he's been putting this into practice for a long time, because something Dave always does when he and I spend time together, whether he's greeting me or giving me a hug when we first meet or whenever we're leaving and saying goodbye, he always honors me and says something according to whether it's based off my performance, character, or my value. He'll say something, for instance, like, what's up, godly man? Or whenever he's saying goodbye, he's like, I love you, godly man, or something like that. And what it does for me is if I feel this tall today, now I feel this tall inside. And so there's something about that affirmation, those gracious words, which are like the honeycomb, which are pleasing to the soul and health to our bones. And so I so love that. And I've been trying to put it into practice myself whenever I hang out with somebody and do the same. And I found that it affirms them just like it affirms me. And to the degree which somebody feels comfortable around you, they're also willing to open up to you. And so if you can commend somebody for their performance, character, or just value, because they were created in God's image, it changes the conversation. It changes their life. I mean, we know that because it's first changed ours. So anyway, Jake, what you got?
Yeah. So I love that. I love Dave, but also love the use of that too, and commending everyone you come into contact with. But for me, whenever I read that verse, there's so many positives whenever you think of honey. So all throughout Scripture, honey is used to reference good things. For the most part, whether that's the Israelites coming out of the land of Egypt and into the promised land that's described as the land flowing in with milk and honey. So it's always tended to be described and used as a positive thing. And so for me, whenever I read this verse, I think of good things, exactly what Nate said. There's so many good descriptors, good uses for the word, honey throughout Scripture, all throughout it. On the flip side of the positive coin, though, I think we'd be remiss to not bring up a warning with it as well. And so there's a few verses in Proverbs that go along with honey, and they're not necessarily great things, but they're warnings. And so, like looking at Proverbs 5:3, for the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. And so you have to understand that, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, in the essence of it being used or used outside of the will of God. And so in the case of like sexual immorality in that verse, that's wrong. It's wrong, but it looks so sweet. It looks so inviting. It's honey. And so you have that. And then Proverbs 25:16, later on down in Proverbs, it says, if you've found honey, eat only enough of it for you, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it up. And so, again, going back into the things of, things that God intended to be so good, but are used outside of his will, just eat just enough of it. Just eat exactly what he intended for you to eat of it. And it'll be good. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it is a good thing. Honey's great. And then Proverbs 25:27, it is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. So again, kind of just reinforcing the idea that take exactly what you need, exactly what the Lord intended, and use it for that. Let this, it is kind of a warning, but at the same time, it's an encouragement too.
Yeah.
Um, do exactly what the Lord intended with exactly what He's given us, because He's given us gifts so freely.
Yeah.
Um, and so use it like that. So
That's good. That's good. I love that. Jake, thank you so much. And guys, just want to encourage you one more time. Hit that link at the bottom of the screen today and plug into a life group. This is where life is happening. I just want to encourage you to do that one more time. Anyway, God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.